Now, I first drove the new Citroen C3 a few months ago, and it was pretty much what I expected. It looks fantastic from the outside, and inside it's been designed really, really well. It's got lots of little intricate details that make it an interesting place to be and not just a bland French hatchback. And as well, it isn't just the car that you'd buy if you couldn't afford a DS3 anymore. It's actually very distinct, very different, and you'd buy it as an alternative rather than because you didn't have enough money to buy a DS3, which is what you used to do. The drive is very, very comfortable and very, very easy to drive. The steering's really light, the car itself is quite quiet, and the suspension is very soft, so it absorbs bumps very well. But it isn't class leading. It isn't the most fun to drive small car of its class. It's because, like, the suspension, for example, is very soft, so in a corner it just rolls around a bit too much, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of what Citroen wants to do. They want to make a car that is very relaxing and easy to drive, so it does make sense. But in terms of fun, there are other cars that are the same size and similar price that are more fun. Anyway, the reason I'm back in the C3 is because when I drove it on the launch, the only engine that I drove was a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol, and I thought probably be a good idea to drive the diesel at some point. So that's what this is. This is a 1.6 or 1.56 technically litre diesel engine with 110 horsepower and 151 foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 is 10.6 seconds, and the top speed is 115 miles an hour. And whereas the petrol used to get about 61 miles to the gallon, I think it was, this will do 76. What strikes me most is that this engine is very, very smooth for a diesel, and it's quite a quiet diesel engine as well. And although this road surface is quite poor, so I get the feeling you might be able to hear a bit more road noise than you can normally, the engine itself just feels really refined. It isn't fast, 10.6 seconds isn't fast, but it's very smooth. And between 1500, 1700 revs up to about 3000 is when you've got the power and torque. Beyond that, there's not much point revving out beyond that. And I suppose that is the difference between the petrol and the diesel. Although they feel quite similar in terms of performance and kind of speed and acceleration, the petrol just keeps going that little bit longer. It's happier to rev higher, whereas this, once you get to 3000, you need to change gear. Now, if you want to know how it drives and more about how it handles, then go and watch the other video review, because that's where I actually talked about that stuff. Whereas this was more just to get a flavour of this engine. The only other mechanical thing I will say though is that this has a 5-speed manual gearbox, and the gears are quite close together. So when you go from second to third, you have to rev slightly higher than you would think in second to make sure you've got enough power and torque when you go into third. Apart from that though, this diesel car and the petrol car, they drive very similarly. So as I said, if you want to know how it drives and how it handles, more about suspension and steering, etc., go and watch that video. There is one other diesel engine. It's got 75 horsepower rather than 110 like this one, but it only gets 2 or 4 miles per gallon more than this one, so it'll either get 78 or 80. So in my head, that doesn't really enter the equation, because you're getting quite a bit less horsepower, not that much more in terms of mileage, and the performance will be even slower. Now, away from the diesel engine, there is one other thing that's worth mentioning while I'm in the C3, and that is something called Connected Cam. Connected Cam is something that no one else is really doing, and it's basically a dash cam at the top of the windscreen that just points forward and is recording all the time. Now, it doesn't save the video all the time, it basically only saves video if you tell it to by an app, so you can record if you're on a nice road, for example, which is quite a cool idea. So rather than sticking a GoPro to the outside of your car and they fall off, trust me, because they do fall off, you can just have the camera recording, and you can put it on your phone and you can put it on your laptop. Or if you're in an accident, even if it's just a minor thing where someone bumps into you in a car park, it'll record before and after that shock, that incident. So you'll have footage of the person who hit you in the car park, and you can take them to court.